If you were to take action over and over again, repeatedly on a new subject, what would you eventually develop? A habit. If you develop the habit of taking action, you become an action-oriented person. But if you're an action-oriented person and you try this and you try that and you try this and you try that and you try something else and you learn to get feedback, there's nothing to stop you from being successful. Because all successful people are intensely action-oriented. Over the years, I began to study the subject of success. And I had one simple idea that came upon me in my late teens, and I think it was the most important idea that I've ever had. And it was simply this, that if you study successful people and you do what they do, you'll be more successful. And if you study unsuccessful people and you avoid doing what they do, then you will not be a failure. And then one of the things I've found that if you study success, you begin to internalize success principles. And if you practice proven success principles, and if you do what successful men and women have done throughout history, that you will be successful too. And it's such a remarkable discovery, but it has been worth a fortune to me. Now, what if there was a special gene for becoming a millionaire? And this gene could be detected by new DNA testing. Some of these gene tests that you have, and you're working along and you're doing well and you're making a good living, you're struggling and so on, and you go in for the doctor does your annual medical, comes back with a gene test. Geez, you got the millionaire gene. I had no idea. You got the millionaire gene. The millionaire gene, yes. You're going to be a millionaire in your adult life, probably in less than 5 years after you decide to become a millionaire. You say, you must be kidding. No, it's been tested. Every single person, every single millionaire who's been tested has this gene. It's a very rare gene. You're going to be a millionaire. You better get going. You're going to find out how you're going to do it. If you walked out of that office absolutely believing that the gene test was right, you'd become like a house on fire. You'd become like a force of nature. Nothing would stop you. You'd say, I'm not going to do work at this chicken job anymore. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire in training. Excuse the expression. I'm a millionaire in training. You'd be out looking for opportunities. And you know something? You set up a force field of magnetic energy that would start to attract ideas to you and people and resources and things like that would change you completely. If you start to think that you have a millionaire gene, like you are encoded, you're programmed to be a millionaire, it starts to change everything. That means that you're guaranteed to be a millionaire if you'll just get on with it and start to produce value at a high enough level that you can be paid well and you can hold on to it. It's not a bad idea. Programming your mind for success, the psychology of becoming says that you are in a constant state of becoming. Each one is in a continuous state of growth and change. And I like to do it like this. It's almost like this is you, and you're continuing moving forward, and you're growing and changing depending upon the information that you're taking in. Now, the great tragedy is that if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So if you're continually taking in the same old information, whether it's frivolousness or television set or TV or Twitter or something else, if you just keep taking the same thing and keep hanging out with the same people and reading the same papers, then nothing will change. The natural tendency is you just go on forever. But if you start to take in new information and new ideas and read new things and talk to new people, you start to evolve and grow in a different way, in a different direction, and at a different speed. Remember, the natural tendency is for people not to do this. So we say if you want to evolve and grow more rapidly, you must make your goals clear and describe them in detail. Make your goals clear and describe them in detail. The interesting thing is, as soon as you are absolutely clear that you want to achieve a particular goal, you start to get all kinds of ideas to achieve that goal. You start to see all kinds of possibilities. You activate your reticular cortex and you start to see ideas that can help you everywhere. You start to run into people and meet people. You start to see things in the newspaper. It's really quite astonishing. The first principle starts with the letter C. It says clarity. And clarity is the starting point of all success. It means clarity of thinking. It means thinking clearly, and it extends from thinking clearly to a series of other things. With regard to clarity, it means the ability to determine exactly what it is that you want to be, have, or do in life. And the more I study successful men and women, the more I find that every single one of them, the top 5%, are very clear about where it is they're going and what it is they want to accomplish. When I look at unsuccessful men and women, or men and women who seem to be unhappy and floundering, I find that almost invariably they have a very, very limited sense of direction, sometimes no sense of direction at all. You see, we as human beings are goal-seeking organisms. We only function at our very best when we're working toward accomplishing something that is important to us. And in my estimation, 80 to 90% of all the unhappiness, hostility, violence, psychosomatic illness, alcoholism, drug addiction, and so on in our society is caused by people having no sense of direction. They don't know where they're going. As they say, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
Have you ever wondered why some people are more successful than others? Because some earn more money, they are happier. They have better jobs, better relationships, better health, and seem to get more benefit from life. Well, when I was 15 years old, this question started worrying me. I have spent more than 25 years traveling to more than 80 countries, working in 30 different jobs, and have invested a total of approximately 30,000 hours of study to try to find the answer, because some people are more successful than others, and they know something. I discovered that this is one of the most studied themes in the world, that there is more information available in this regard than at any other time. Today, we can say with complete confidence that success is as predictable as the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. Today, you can become more successful faster than you had dreamed. You need to do two basic things. Number one, take a decision that exceeds all your previous levels of achievement. Take the decision to be successful and achieve your goals as you propose them. And number two, learn how.
Write your goals down on paper and write them down in the present tense as though you had already achieved them. I earn X number of dollars in 2019. I am a self-made millionaire by January 1st, 2025. I weigh X number of pounds. I live in a 5,000 square foot house with a separate bedroom for each one of my children. In other words, write it down as though it were already a fact and you're just reporting it. You're just reporting the fact. Your subconscious mind is marvelous, but what it does is it only thrives on goals that you pronounce in the now, in the present tense. And so you now have a dynamism. It's called a dynamism in your brain, where your brain knows that you're only earning this amount of money, but now you're saying, but I earn this amount of money. Your brain knows that you're not a millionaire, but now you're saying, I am a millionaire. And so your brain goes to work to close this gap between where you are and where you want to be. And your brain starts to work 24 hours a day. And it works and it gives you ideas. Each person here has what is called the superconscious mind. And this mind has been talked about for 5,000 years, and some call it the oversoul, and some people call it the God mind, some people call it God, spirit, whatever it happens to be. But there's this incredible power in the universe that you can tap into. You could just reach into it by simply writing down a goal clearly on a piece of paper, and then this mind goes to work 24 hours a day to bring it into your life. You've all read the books about the law of attraction and so on. Well, the fact is that once you are clear on a goal and you write it down, not type it, write it down, is you force this energy field of attraction, and it starts to pull into your life everything that you need to make the goal clear. But if it's not in writing, not a darn thing happens.
Goal setting and vision. Think of a ship setting out to sea. Before it leaves the harbor, it needs a destination, a course to navigate. Without this, the ship would drift aimlessly at the mercy of the winds and the waves. Much like that ship, we too need a destination in our lives. Our goals? I once met a young man full of energy and ambition. He told me, I want to be successful. I want to make something of my life. I asked him, what are your goals? What's your destination? He paused, unsure. You see, he had the desire, but not the direction. This is where the power of clear goals comes into play. Successful people don't leave their futures to chance. They set specific, clear goals. They know exactly what they want, whether it's in their careers, their personal lives, or their health, but setting these goals is just the first step. What really brings these goals to life is the vision that accompanies them. Vision is about seeing the future before it happens. It's about painting a picture in your mind of where you want to go, what you want to achieve. It's not just about saying, I want to be successful. It's about defining what success looks like for you.
Before metal can be cast into a desired shape, the mold, the expectant receptacle, must first be fashioned. Before a building can be erected, the excavation must be made and the foundation laid. And before a person can achieve the kind of life he wants, he must become that kind of individual. He must think, act, talk, walk, and conduct himself in all of his affairs as would the person he wishes to become. He is then actually that person, and the things that person would have and do will naturally come to him.